Hello. How are you? It's my pleasure to be here. I'm happy to see all of you, and I thought I would put a little disclaimer that I think Georgia Tech is a very good school, and I'm sure a lot of you are going there and aspiring to go there, and I think we will all do well. So when my brother asked me to share my experiences with you guys, or my college experiences or my graduate school experiences, it made me realize that it has been a very long while since high school, college, and graduate school, and I got to thinking, what can I really share that could be helpful to you? And I thought a little bit what I learned in college, in grad school, and of course in high school can be summarized in a couple of points. One is, of course, in college or grad school, you learn skills, you learn things, you develop knowledge. But a third that is often overlooked is you learn values. And those are, the earlier you learn those things, the better off you are. And you could have learned them in high school, and they could make you better college students. You could learn those in college, they could make you better grad student, and so on. Ultimately, I think the value of education is to make us better people, not just skills and not just knowledge. So I could think of about 5 or so values that I think are worth noting for aspiring college students and hopefully graduate students and possibly engineers, researchers, medical professionals, and all that you could be. So the first thing that I learned is the value of our uniqueness, the fact that as individuals we are different from everybody else. We are different from our brothers, from our parents, from our friends. If we don't appreciate that, we miss a big opportunity to make unique contribution for ourselves and for our community. We are, as the Bible says, we are not all hands or feet. We are as members of Christ. We have our unique roles that we play, and we should not feel like we need to conform to a specific person or specific persons. We should be using our unique gifts. That is something that you learn over time, but the sooner you learn that, the better. We have our gifts when we choose a specific field or area of interest and so on. We have to appreciate that we are different from other people. The other value that I learned is the value of curiosity, the desire to learn. That might be obvious for many of you. Of course, you are going to college and you are aspiring to go to college. Therefore, you value knowledge. You are curious, but curiosity is not just innate. It's something you develop. You learn it. You learn something, and then you try to find out more about it. And the more you find out more about it, the more you want to learn even more. So it's a endless but a joyful journey, and that's what we are going to college. A lot of people say, well, oh, if I go to college, I'll get a job. If I go to college, I will develop this skill or something like that. But as I said again, what the value of college is, it makes us better persons. So among being one piece of being a better person is being curious and being eager to learn. So that's obviously not that is in a way a no-brainer that we are going to college and we want to learn, but we really need to desire to learn as opposed to just accomplish a degree and get a job and all that. It's a big opportunity in that sense. We should not be short-selling ourselves by just aiming to barely make it or barely get a degree. We should aspire to be better people out of our experiences there. And then the third value that I can think of that would be very helpful to succeed in college, of course, is discipline. That means to do things regularly as if you are on schedule. It's very much like, athletes. They exercise regularly. They don't just prepare for the race on the eve of the race. You just don't see a marathoner come, on the eve of the marathon and say, oh, I will exercise today and run for tomorrow. We don't do that. So the same is school. We have to be steady. We have to be regular and do things over and over again. And the idea is that it could sound boring, but you get to that habit of to sit at a certain location, very comfortable place where you can read in a quiet place. If you do that for a couple of hours one day, if you do that, say over a month or so, you develop that habit. That becomes your thing. So that's very much like exercise or weightlifting or anything like that. Once you get into that rhythm or that regularity, you can go for a long time. So that's the third value that I think is important. That's discipline. And then the value of a really important one is character, of course. What does that mean? That means not to try to cut corners, to aspire for excellence. Many of you might be familiar with Albert Einstein, the physicist, and people ask him, how do I become a great scientist? And he said, a lot of people think that intellect is the most important thing to make you a great scientist, but it's not. It's character. It's a desire to excel, and as I said, a desire to learn, being curious, the ability to focus on things, to have the discipline, and the desire for quality work, for respect, for objectivity. Of course, if in any field you need to be objective, you need to be honest. In academic setting, that means not cheating from Wikipedia or something. In these days, information is everywhere, so you can get answers to questions by just not exercising your mind and by not doing the hard work. So what character tells you is that, of course, there is an easy way, but I want to do it the right way. So this is only one piece of the value that we need to be of good character. We should not cut corners, and we should aspire for quality. You can take shortcuts, you can be unfair in your dealings with people, and it can appear to succeed. But that's not the kind of success that lasts. You see in the news every day. People, they go to the top of their endeavor and experiences, but because they did not deal fairly with people around them, they come down very quickly. So you don't want that. You want to be people of good character. Without that, nothing is meaningful. And finally, of course, you are going to college, and it's a big opportunity. And that means you will learn, of course, in your chosen discipline, but also you will have fun in the sense that you will develop new hobbies, you will make new friends, you will meet new mentors. And my experience is that a lot of the things that I learned in college, I learned them from friends, not necessarily from professors, but from colleagues. We have Christian fellowships that met every Friday evening. My best friends are from all over the place, South Africa and Jamaica and places like that. Yeah. So a lot of people are like us. We share values, we share similar experiences. So don't be afraid to make friends who do not look like you, who speak in very strange accent. This could be very rewarding experiences. So you need to reach out to people. But of course, part of that is why are we there? We look many here when we are gathered in this room. When we are out there, we are one in college, two in a college as Eritreans, or we are very, very few people. So we need to. We might be the only Eritreans that others meet. So we need to be good ambassadors. So when we say, when somebody says, I know an Eritrean, we want to be a good example of an Eritrean value. So a lot of us, of course, are first generation to go to college in the US. So a lot is riding on your success. You are our capital. We are our investment. Well, no pressure, but still, you are what we got, and you need to be mindful of that. You need to be ready to serve the Eritrean community here, but also Eritrea as a nation. Some of you could be in government, some of you could be in civic societies, in corporations, and you need to not forget that you are our biggest asset, and as assets we expect return as a community. We are, that's what's happening here. We are investing in you, and you should be mindful of that. So while I'm on the topic of fun, of course, in addition to your education, you will obviously develop hobbies and interests, and you should make time for that and make your impression on the college community. You could, if activism is your thing, if you stand for something, you join clubs that do that. If missionary activities or outreach is your thing, do that. If exercise, athletics, or art is your thing, do that. You make time for that. Doesn't mean that it needs to take all your time, but you need to be there. You need to speak up as part of the community. And and be part of the college experience. You go to seminars. Sometimes the seminars do not even have nothing to do with your area of expertise. You might learn something. When a politician or a corporate person comes by, you have to have the courage to say hello and introduce yourself and introduce your background and what you want to do. So there are a lot of things that come along with just skills and education. So to summarize, as I said, you need to understand your uniqueness and appreciate it. 2, you need to develop your curiosity. 3, you need discipline, you need focus, and to be able to do things regularly and consistently. And finally, you need to develop and maintain your character and integrity in dealing with each other and with other people. And finally, you should enjoy your college experience and have a good time there. Thank you. To the curiosity piece that I talked about, the desire to learn. So you want to learn more. One obvious place is to do a graduate degree. And the other important factor to note for all of us is that the times are changing. In some fields, a bachelor's degree is not enough, and it's becoming more so for many fields. And graduate degree gives you that extra level of depth, extra level of independence in terms of being able to do research or any development work. So it again comes down to curiosity and understanding that you need to perform at slightly higher level than what you could do in bachelor's degree. My journey, in comparison to my older brothers, was relatively smooth. So it helps that you have older brothers who have gone along a similar path. So those of you who have older brothers and who have succeeded in their journey, I think is something you can appreciate and you can value, in the sense that they could be good resource in guiding you and so on. But of course, I did my bachelor's degree back home at the University of Asmara, where some of you might have seen that the resources are limited. It's a fairly competitive place for reasons that it has it accepts very few students out of the entire group of students that do apply to that school. So the challenges are okay. Maybe I should use that. Maybe, yeah. At the university at University of Asmara, one of the things that sustained us, again, it brings us back to the values that I noted here. One is, of course, the discipline. For those of you, the older ones who know University of Asmara, a lot of us have this discipline. At any time, we are always at certain locations studying. If somebody is looking for us, everybody knows exactly where we will be at a certain hour. In some classroom studying, and we essentially never leave before 10 p.m. So there is that habit that you are very regular and steady. We don't study on the eve of the exam. the entire semester we are at that room studying every time after dinner time, which is at about 6 to 10 o'clock. So that brings me to the discipline. The other is the support. You might not have that kind of opportunity here in the US, being that you will be dispersed all over the place. But at University of Asmara, we were close as students with each other, and we are always providing material support and academic support and moral support to each other. So it helps to have friends. So a lot of us, for example, the people who finished a bachelor's degree in physics in Asmara, a lot of us are here, and we talk about that all day. You know, we work together. So friendship, as I noted earlier, is an important asset, and it gets you quite far. And the other point is that I should have mentioned is mentorship, the value of people that are older and more experienced. This could be professors. For me, for example, I had an American professor, Canadian American professor, was who I was assisting as a graduate assistant back at University of Asmara, and he observes me and says, you know, he asks us, what are your plans for college? What are you going to do? And I say, yeah, I think I will go to Atlanta and do masters there somewhere. Then I'll try to go to go for PhD to those more the major research universities. And he would say something like, I think you are more like a, you know, Harvard, Princeton material, so you should slow down, do well in your GRE. That was, you know, it could take a year, prepare for GRE, and aim for as far as it can go. So there are people who challenge us to aim higher. So that brings us back to the value of appreciating our uniqueness. So as an individual, as a young person, I wouldn't appreciate it, but the mentors would realize what we have in us and how far we can go. So you should be mindful of that, the experiences of our professors, our older brothers and sisters, and so on, and being ready to listen to them.
Most people have these issues these days, is the issue of financial. And other things that I can also recommend is a recommendation actually. What can you make? We have a group of students here. They are bright and everything. Like you say, they need a network. What's your recommendation for them really to make it a network to excel? Because nobody's an island. We all have to work together in life. So this is the purpose of you coming here together. So from your experience, you say that other people use in college will have like Christian fellowship, what can they do to do these things much better? So the financial and also the for them to come together.
Well, I think it's not just Eritrean community's issue, right? The fact that the college is expensive is a national problem, and there are things that we could do to alleviate some of those. One is the value of networks and internships, and we could go to places for summers, and I did that. I was an intern at NASA Goddard in Maryland, as well as at Boulder, Colorado. So the idea is that you try to make use of your summers as effectively as possible. It's understandable. You want to work, save some money for pocket money and so on, but maybe internship do not pay as much. but the experience that you get there, the networks that you build there, are really important, and they are worth it. So there's a trade-off there. Do I want to work, at any place where it pays better and save some money for the rest of the year, or do I want to do internship? It could potentially be very lucrative down the road, but you don't see the immediate value of it. So that the value of that network is important. So that's where you will learn about opportunities for scholarships and good recommendation letters, for example. What you have as young people, you obviously don't have experience in terms of skills and so on. So what people will see when you work with them is potential. Again, that brings me back to that character point, your integrity, your desire to work hard, your discipline, your curiosity. When your mentors see this, then they can point you to other people, connect you to other people, and so on. So I really want to highlight the value of internships at the right places. Internships at places where you want to be. So the question you asked, when you are working as an intern at a place like, for example, for myself at NASA or the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Colorado, is that do I want to be the guy who I am working for right now? He seems to be having a good time doing his research and publishing papers and talking about them and so on. Maybe I could be that guy. So that's the kind of experience you want out of internship. And in terms of connections, in college, of course, there will be a lot of clubs and Christian organizations that you could benefit from. For that, you just join them and find out what they stand for. Thank you.